Hey, good morning. This will be my last video of 2025. Looking forward, I think this might be something that we're going to be focusing on in the near future. Self-testing agents. Meaning, I wrote a pyATS agent. It has an AI agent, a Google-based agent, and I have my pyATS MCP server cloned in. So the agent has access to the MCP server. The agent's less than 200 lines of code. The MCP is not all that big. What I got thinking was, say, it's pyATS, it's for testing. I know I use it for all kinds of outlandish things, not testing, but the root of it is testing. Can the agent write its own tests? Can I just say, how are my interfaces on R1? And not hard code the actual tests to test an interface or the output of an interface. So, let's take a look at this. What happens is the agent first decides what show commands it needs to parse to gather the info. Now, once it's gathered that info, if the info is JSON, it uses the keys, not the values, the keys, to derive the AE tests that it then tests the values. Doesn't reconnect, it's already got the data. Dynamically on the fly, write the test, run the test, report on the test. And it works. So far it works. So take a look at this log. So Python agent pypy, that's all we need to do. It connects 8 tools to the pyATS, including a dynamic test MCP. Nothing is hard-coded for interfaces. It's just a generic test. I ask it the health of interfaces on R1. It proceeds to run show IP interface brief, show interfaces, and show logging. Okay? Now notice that these are running show command MCPs, where logging has its own MCP, because logging does a device.execute, not a device.parse, because there is no parser for logging. And the agent knows that. The agent knows that logging and show run is just raw text and not to devise tests, but to use that as supplemental information. You can see here executing pyATS run dynamic test, and we can see that it's importing AE test and that it's testing these interfaces. It does the same thing for show interfaces. And we can see some asserts in here. All right? So this is all noise. I'll suppress this, but I'm in info mode so I can see what's happening while I test this. Now check it out. Agent. The tests have all passed, meaning the test ran. Not that they passed, but the test ran. And here's the final verdict and remediation steps. Health verdict, fail. Remediation steps. Look into the collisions and output errors on E2 and re-enable E3 if it's needed and configure it appropriately. And here's the evidence. Show IP interface brief. Show interfaces on E2. And we can see here that we have output errors and collisions. All right, and in the logging, we can have that excess collision to reinforce the failed test. Isn't that cool? So what are we going to do now? Now we are going to say, thank you. Can you please enable CDP on R1, R2, switch 1, switch 2, using the port descriptions, enable CDP on the per interface level, as well as at the device level. Then I'm going to say wait 30 seconds after configuring all of the CDP to allow it to converge. Then please test CDP and confirm that we have all of the appropriate neighbors. Now, I'm going to see if it's, I'm also testing pcall here, parallel calls, because I have told the agent that it can use. Okay, quick break from the action. I struggled a little bit with various things, to be transparent. The configs weren't quite working right, and a little bit of stickiness around some of the original logic and prompt. So, and you'll have to take my word for it, I'll try to show you. As of now, right, I did go ahead and remove CDP before this run, but now I have all the neighbor details up and running across all 4 devices. All right, so now let's take a look at the prompt and how this worked. Right, I'm going to read the prompt. Enable CDP across R1, R2, switch 1, switch 2 using MCP/pyATS with strict phases. 1, interface discovery only. Right, go out and get the interfaces so you're not guessing about their actually, like it's not ETH01 or gig01 or 10 gig or whatever, that kind of stuff. I try to tell it not to run any show CDP command, assume it's currently disabled. It sort of ignored that, which is okay. Maybe it thought it would check anyway. Pre-config capture, right? Collect the full running config on each device, summarize the current global per interface CDP config, expected absence. 3, configure. Go ahead and push global and the interfaces you need to in a single multi-line config string, because that's what my pyATS MCP will take multi-line. Wait 5 seconds. Post-change verify. Testing. Right? Generate a pyATS script that does not connect to the devices, embeds all the collected outputs as Python literals and test data, validates CDP globally, enabled on all of our devices, enabled on intended interfaces and expected neighbor relationships with correct local remote interface mappings. Report a pass-fail. So I am using pcall, which is a really cool aside I want to mention. I did configure the agent and the MCP to be parallel call supported. So instead of waiting for R1 and then R2 and then switch 1 and then switch 2, it fires all the stuff in parallel. All right, so asynchronous and multi-threaded. Grab some show commands. Grab some more show commands. Grabs the running config. Ready to go to call the configuration MCP tool in parallel across all 4 devices. And you can see here, it's actually picked globally CDP run, and on each router there should be 2 interfaces, the router neighbor and the downstream switch. But on the switches, it should just be on 1 interface, the uplink. Cool, right? So far? That's not even what I knew all that would work. That's been working for a long time. But this is what's really neat. pyATS run dynamic test. And here's the test script's contents, and I'm piping this into the pyATS AE test framework. And if you were to read this stuff, now I may choose, I'm in info mode here. This is all info. If you don't want it to be so noisy, you could turn this down or up. But I want to see this stuff as I'm developing. Now there is an error, and I'm going to take a look at why something's returning a glob, which did interfere with the results a little bit, but we can that's okay. I will vibe code that out. So let's go to the bottom here, and here we go. Here's the manual assessment though, and this is good enough because this is from the actual tests it ran. Right? Globally, it's enabled based on the configs and the tests. R1 has those 2, R2 has those 2, and the switches have those. Based on the show CDP neighbors and detail, here's the relationships that have been established, and this is all correct. So it's inconclusive because of those glob errors. I'm going to give this another run. All right, stay tuned, stay with me. Okay, let's give this another go. CDP is shot, it's not running anywhere. And I noticed in my agent, my model was using a really older model, like a really older model. So all the success I've had was with a pretty poor model. So swapping out that model has made quite a big difference in the performance, as you can imagine. So let's go ahead and run that prompt again. And let's take a look at parallel calls. It shouldn't be running anything twice. It pauses here for a second. There's a little bit more reasoning going on here, I think, with this model. So here we go. Show interface description on the 4 devices in parallel. Good. And we shouldn't see the same command run more than once. I did iron that out. We had a bit of a hallucination. I think that was a model issue. So now we're running good interface brief, interface status on the routers and switches. So it's got some awareness of routers versus switches and what's supported. Really good step. And now I think it's going to do a show run config on the 4 devices, maybe. Yeah, here we go. Show running config as a threaded multi P call, parallel calls. Now, it should have everything it needs, and it should do one pass and set up global CDP run on the 4 devices and 6 interfaces, 2 on each router and 1 on each switch, the uplink and the peer-to-peer links. So here we go. Beautiful. In parallel, we're pushing all the right configs. Now, here's where it gets really exciting. And all this above I had done with agents like a year ago. But now I had this idea of what about writing its own dynamic testing? So here we go. Waiting 5 seconds per the user's instructions for convergence. Now it's going to run show interface descriptions and regather some information. CDP should be some of this information gathering again. The post-change state. So it's going to run show IP interface. There's CDPs. So we are running CDP neighbors on these things. Everything's in parallel still, which is really nice. Now we're running details on neighbors. And the very next thing it should do is start to write its own tests based on the keys it found in the CDP commands. And I've tried to add some logic for us to show us the testing that it's going to do here. So this is what's happening right now. Right now I think it's actually, okay, it's going to be writing tests here in a second. And hopefully it will show us the testing it's going to do. Just be patient with it. Here we are, test data found. So here's the test plan. Running test generation. Here's the live plan. And now it should be running the tests themselves. So that's the test data that it found, were those keys and the values. Oh, cool. We have AE test info. AE test info. So, pass. Summary of activities. The discoveries. Switch 1, switch 2 link was not identified by descriptions, so CDP was not enabled there. Cool. Confirm no run and no enable on all devices in the pre-change, configured them globally, waited 5 seconds, ran the show command and confirmed, and then we ran the dynamic test and all tests passed. Evidence, here's the evidence, here's the test result, test global active, test neighbor relationships. Is that not cool? Is that not cool? All right, so we've done interfaces and CDP. Let's try OSPF next. Stay tuned. Okay, let's give this a go with OSPF. So there's a pretty big prompt, but really what I want to show you is that over here we've got no, we only have access ports. Show run in ETH02. It's not set up for a trunk. And on the routers, show IP OSPF, there's nothing on either of the routers. Okay, so I'm going to try to set up this 4-node topology using OSPF, point-to-point links, 4 VLANs, 4 subnets, should have sub-interfaces for router on a stick. But the real key is I want to see it test, even with ping, right? Make sure that we can ping across and also to check the stability here. Now, am I waiting for 20 seconds or whatever? Yeah, wait and pause. All right, so let's go ahead and run this. And it's going to do a bunch of gathering. So it actually starts with show CDP neighbors detail on the two routers. So then it will see what interfaces are connected and what it needs to set up to get OSPF running, and what the sub interfaces should look like for the downstream links. And that's going to grab show run. Okay, that makes sense. In parallel, we're getting show run here from all 4 devices. And that basically should be everything it needs to go ahead and configure OSPF. And we'll take a look at the configuration. Again, this is configuration stuff I've been doing for like a year now with agents, probably longer. So I'm not, this isn't the impressive part. It's the dynamic nature of the testing and the show commands. None of this is hard-coded, but it still feels very deterministic. So now we're configuring sub interfaces, point to point as a /31, a router ID, the routers to the networks. Okay, and then on the switches, we're switching those to encapsulation and mode trunk. All right. So it used what it knew was already configured, such as the VLANs. I don't know why we're running Linux commands. That's kind of weird. That's an odd one. Anyhow, so we are configured, and now it's going to try to run some pings. Could not find a parser for ping repeat. Okay, so the pings are not quite working. But it's falling back. Okay, all right. I got to look into the parser for ping. And now it's checking OSPF neighbors. Okay, that's cool. So it's grabbing data. It's even tried to ping, but it's grabbing data. And then it should dynamically write some tests and execute the tests based on what it's found here, the keys from the JSON or the raw output from the ping. I think that's a parser issue. I think it's repeat, but I need to specify a source maybe. So here's the test data that it had. Okay. Successfully implemented and validated. That's the key here. Fully converged 100% reachability across all. Overall status pass. Physical connectivity verified via CDP. Switch uplinks, configured them as trunks. Made sure the VLANs were all active. Router on a stick. The sub interfaces with the correct IPs. Point-to-point link with a /30. OSPF enabled area 0. Advertising all subnets and the P2P link. Management routes were preserved for safety. So then, here's the validation. One drop due to ARP normal, one drop due to ARP normal. So we actually pinged. It's running ping tests all by itself. OSPF adjacency, OSPF routing. Right? For future troubleshooting, check the trunks. Right, just what to do. And here's the evidence that we have OSPF neighbors. So we started with, are my interfaces healthy? Configure CDP and test it. Configure OSPF and test it. This is pretty awesome. I'm going to put this agent up on my GitHub as well as the new VibeOps forum GitHub for everybody to start using this agent in their own testing in their own environments. But think of automatic tests that your agent can write and use MCPs like pyATS to execute those tests and to get the data it needs for the tests. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2026.